But let's talk about renewable energy. Again, I'm going to talk to you not so much on the slides because I don't want to bore you with the slides, but there are some things that I would like to tell you. Siguro, rather than if I ask the renewable energy, because they have a presentation, the RENB, Renewable Energy Bureau of the DOE, has a pro forma presentation. I'm not going to use that. Why? Because it's coming from the point of view of renewables. If I ask the Power Bureau to come up with a presentation, it's a totally different picture. Because there's a push and pull, as Father Bobby was saying, push and pull between the renewables and the conventional. Now, the problem that we have in the Philippines is that the Department of Energy is separate from the Department of Natural Resources, Environment and Natural Resources. In other countries, it's actually one and the same. Because the concerns are actually, it merges, okay, deeply that you cannot separate the two. But for some reason in this country, it's separate. That's why when I talk about energy, I talk about energy in terms of pricing and availability. Okay. Not too much on the environment, because again, the concerns I will be judged if we have electricity rather than if you're actually splurging your way into the environment. And that's why I cannot use the presentation of RENB and power separated. I'm trying to merge them to have a common one. But one common problem that we should see among the many problems of renewables, siguro I would start with, ano ba talaga ang direction of the gobyerno? So many directions of the gobyerno. Okay. Before I touch on renewable, I'll talk about power as a whole. What is the direction of power as a whole? The first question is, what is the price of Oriental in this country? And the answer is, because we have a very complex, market-driven industry. Si Palco knows that. Our trust basically is to make it transparent. Because sa ngayon, it's not really that transparent. It's not that somebody's hiding anything. Nobody's just presenting it the way it should be presented. So, if you ask me, what is the price of electricity in this country? And the answer is, I really wouldn't know, because it all depends where you are. In other words, in different parts of this country, you have different rates, because it's market-driven. It all depends on who's running the distribution utility and where he's sourcing the power. For example, I don't know what the rate of Sipalco is right now. What's your rate of Sipalco?
Rate? We are saying we are right now 750.
750, wala kang bat yan. Bat yan. 750, 8 pesos. Okay. Depending on summer yan, baka a little bit over 8 pesos if you're getting from your diesel plants. So, it's 750 or 790. Ano ba talaga? It all depends on the day or the season, because a distribution utility, meron siyang bilateral contracts. He has a contract, long-term contract. But he also has short-term contracts. And he has contracts for peaking and he has contracts for base load. What is peaking and base load? Okay. Base load is basically what you here consume, okay, whether it is nighttime or daytime. Okay? Gabi or buntag, this is what you're actually consuming. That's base load. However, here in Mindanao, in the evenings you consume more. You start opening your eyes, okay? It's a big, ang peak load ninyo in the morning. Or
it's actually 3 in the afternoon.
3 in the afternoon, so
it peaks again in the 7 again.
Okay. Progressive cities, and this is my basis always, kung progressive ako sa city, is basically, usually kung medyo backwards pa, ang peak is gabi 7 p.m. That's when people open their lights. Pero, for the progressing cities, like Davao, Cebu City, especially in Luzon, okay, what happens is the peak is actually 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is the peak. The next peak is 11 a.m. and then 7 p.m. In other words, because there are many industrial and commercial users, the peak load is actually in the morning. Tapos sa BA, mo peak di hapon, pero not as big as the morning mo. Now what happens is, basically, you contract according to your base load. Pero ang peaking mo contract ka, ibang presyo. Because that plant, the base load plant will run 24 hours. The peaking plant will only run on those peak hours. That's why the contract is more expensive sa peak hours. Because you have a plant that doesn't really run 24 hours. And when depreciation hapon, you have to depreciate it for the entire year, but it only runs on daytime. There are different kinds of plants in this country. Okay. Base load, peak, and they all have different characteristics. Base load usually are cheaper to operate. Okay. They run 24 hours. Pero ang ilang stock is also takes about 8 hours. These are the coal-fired plants. It takes about 8 hours to heat them up. Ang peaking plants naman, when I need it, it has to be available. The most common peaking plant here in Mindanao is diesel. Because diesel starts right away. Okay. So you can't really go away with diesel at this point, no? Because that is your peaking plant here. Now, I'm not even talking about renewable yet. Ito na ang tanong. What are the plans of the DOE? Okay, and some people will, some industry players will oppose this, but will push through this anyway. Sabi ko, ngayon ang nangyayari is this, okay, especially in the small co-ops, okay. As a generator, ito ang sasabihin ko, mag-expire yung kontrata mo. Gusto mo 5 megawatts, pero ano, gusto mo kunin 5 pesos. Sabihin na nila na, mahal naman, baka pwedeng 450. Ayaw ko, bigay ko sa Sipalco to. Bigay ko sa Sipalco sa 5 piso. Okay, actually this is going on, this has been going on for quite some time. Although there is a bidding process or competitive selection process, there's a lot of negotiation going on renewable. And right now, ang problema nato sa akin is that the private sector are doing their job. But we can't see them all because under the IPIRA, government cannot build up a plant. That's number one. We cannot also buy electricity. What can we do? Simply to come up with policies to encourage the private sector. Again, we cannot build plants. We cannot also buy electricity. Pero kung may brownout, kung sisisihin, okay. Okay? So, hindi naman kayo nasisisi, hindi naman ibang mga. Okay, so what happens now is that we try to manage this. It takes 4 to 5 years to build a plant. Ang question is, are we going to have a brownout? And the answer is, it really all depends whether the DUs have contracted. Okay, has Sipalco contracted enough? Has Davao Electric or Tanang mga co-ops, have they actually contracted? Okay, are they fully covered? Okay, that's the question. The problem is, you have short-term contracts, you have long-term contracts, and you have to be intelligent on the way you do your forecasting. I have electricity now, but I don't know if I have electricity next year, for example. What is the growth rate of the demand of electricity? It all depends on the GDP. Is it really just GDP? Ito ang problema minsan eh. I think Sipalco and the DUs should always talk with the chamber and basically with LGU. Why? Because you need to find out, magbubukas ba ng planta dito? Are there commercial areas that are going to be open? Because I need to forecast my demand. Okay. What is the overall GDP growth rate of Mindanao? And what is the elasticity? In other words, for every 1% GDP growth rate, ano ba ang increase ng demand? Now, they do their own forecast. But if they're wrong, then you have a problem. Pwede may oversupply ka, pwede naman brownout ka. So, basically, they're all doing this. Pero kami taga-review lang. And then we try to balance sino ang meron, sino wala. You'll be surprised. When I reviewed this, because nobody reviewed this in the past, when I reviewed this, I was surprised. A lot of our cooperatives are not fully contracted. In other words, they will face a problem in the future. Yung iba naman, 1 year lang. Okay. The problem that we have is that it takes 4 to 5 years to build a plant. In other words, right now, there is a problem in Mindanao, of course, which we started addressing when I came 2 years ago. Okay, and then we have also a problem in Luzon, which is short term. I was just given 6 to 8 months to prepare for it. Okay, so far so good. Okay, wala pang brownout doon. Dito naman walang brownout, huwag lang babagsak si Steyar. Okay, si Steyar talagang number 1 natin dito na inaasahan niya. Huwag lang siyang babagsak, wala pang brownout. But the biggest is coming in on April 15. First, 150 megawatts, the biggest plant that we'll ever have here is 150 megawatts, papasok sa April 15. Maybe if that is cold. Okay. We'll talk about that later on, the push and pull. Now, people will have to contract. Kailangan talaga contract. Ang problema, ang board of directors natin sa mga kooperatiba is iba-iba. May taga-kooperatiba ba dito? Sino taga-kooperatiba? Ang Reco. I told this story already on Reco before. Ito ang sinabi ko sa kanila. When I was first a governor in 2004, okay, meron lumapit sa akin, duol na ako. Sir, patabang. Patabangan ako na yun. Tabang siya para kandidato. Kung palang eleksyon, kapoy na namin. Kandidato na po, so may daganan na ito. Ano may daganan posisyon din eh. Of which I am a member. Kasi pay me electricity. I just pay. I didn't know that I'm a member. And I think that's one thing also that I'm going around for the advocacy of making sure that people know that they own the co-op. It's not the directors and the GMs. So, sabi ko, so it's elected pala. It's the first time I knew that it was elected. Can you imagine? Ang iyang constituents, hindi mo magkakong constituents. So, may gusto mga kadili sa lugar. Kung sa may mga katal, nalimunta mo ng barangay captain o ang iyong mga ward leaders, pwede ganito niya. Ako i-announce na suportahin ninyo. Kung sa pa man, kung sa pa, kung mga incidental expenses ay may nataas ang tabang, mahal ng eleksyon. Mahal ng eleksyon, hindi na umabot again to the old. But that was only the first one, and then I realized later on that people should not politicize the board of directors and electric co-ops. Why? I always tell everybody, if you vote the wrong mayor, agwanta ka na lang, what's na lang ito katuig, paniguro sunod na di na nakadaog. Kung sa imong tanaw sa'yo, tracing back what happened to Mindanao. I'm not blaming anybody. This is how I would do it. Okay? Being a person on the finance side, no? Number side. 2010 is when you started your brownout. Nagsugod mo brownout in 2010. 2010 was projected, okay, as early as, kasi it takes 4 to 5 years to build a plant. So kung 2010 ang brownout, ang kuwang, then 4 to 5 years back, let's make it 5 years, 2005, a plant should have been built. In 2005. It's no-brainer. Now, kung 2005 nagtukod, negotiations by the private sector, okay, for financial closing errors and everything, should have been finalized in 2004 or should have been started in 2003 as far as planning is concerned. Nagplano na 2003. Can you imagine? You have brownouts now, especially last year, because of nobody bothered to see what should be done in 2003. This is how long-term energy is. And the effect is, you're still suffering right now. So again, we go back, it's all long-term. If nobody builds a plant, there'll be a brownout. Pero you don't look 1 year, 2 years. You look back or you look forward ahead of time and make sure no brownout. The problem is, you have different demands, you have different supply. So we try to gather them. Ang buhaton na po karon, we will now extract, including si Palco, including private sector. What is your demand forecast? We will now verify it. If we verify it, now, if I have my way, because the policy is not done yet, because I need the help of ERC, kailangan lang usapin din. Okay, we have a negotiation with ERC. If the demand can be aggregated, si Sipalco or individual co-ops, dili na mag-negotiate nganto sa planta para makuha. Kaya kung 5 megawatts ko, mura ko makiistorya na ako pag 2 megawatts ko. Pero Kung 50 megawatts akong kuhaon, sa spal kung kuhaon 50, mura istorya mo. Labi nagsimaral ko, kaya kung palit simaral ko, 400 megawatts. So 400 megawatts, people will talk to them and will build a plant. But I will not build a plant if the demand that I see is only 2 megawatts. Pero nakapamilain ay, tuloy to na 5, o pero usa-usa na ako, katuho na ako tanan, iba-ibang personality, okay, iba-ibang mga nagpangayok. Okay, so what do? I aggregate all the demand. When you aggregate the demand, now the co-ops and the DUs can negotiate as a whole. Because I'm not talking about me wanting 2 megawatts. It's all of us wanting 300 megawatts. So I can bargain. Okay, resolve, right, you also did aggregation. Okay, but that is on their own. We're going to make it a policy. Okay, aggregation in central Luzon, for example, just as an example, ang mga presyo din din sa Wikis is about 5 plus. That's a full plant that we're opening, 5 peso plus. With the aggregation, these are all individual offtakes. Usa-usa ng kontrata. In Luzon, ilang i-aggregate ang ilang demand, okay, for 2019. And then they figured it out. In other words, this is our demand for 2019. Kung kinsay pwede kong tukol o planta, bid mo. So, di naman upat na nag-bid dito ang nagdaog GM Power. The price? Bid niya 5 pesos ang plant, paano 5.20 pa matinali, 5.30 ang mga presyo ng municipal plant. Ang price dito, 370. I still feel it can go down. Probably ako, limit 320. If we do a proper demand aggregation. Kaya to, sila-sila naman to. It's not really a DOE policy, so tagang pa yung mga players going appeal. If you have all the players, 320, you can pull it down. Can you imagine? Okay. The most expensive plant right now is in Iloilo. It's 6 plus owned by Global Power. Now we have 370. So why am I telling you about demand aggregation? Because I want to make sure that electricity in the future is going to be cheaper than what it is right now. Is it going to be cheaper? Yes. Okay. If we actually push for demand aggregation. Of course, the big players don't want this. Meralco will not want this. Okay. Because they would like to negotiate on their own. Meralco just negotiated with Quezon Power. Their price is 420. That's a result of the negotiation. Bidding 370. So this is what I'm saying now. I'm in for demand aggregation. Actually produces lower power. It also is transparent. Simply, Ramana, today is 2015. In 2020, we will have a demand. What is that demand? If the uncontracted demand is 600 megawatts, I'd like to bid it out now. So, akong i-bid out karon for 2020. So, iba ng presidente. Correct. Okay. Ingon ni kalong-term ang energy. In fact, we're now looking at the energy situation for the next president. And then, we're also looking at the situation of energy and what should be done for the next president. Because if we just keep on looking at next year and tomorrow, mauna resulta, brown out. We have to move forward. So, if I bid 600 megawatts now, and only 400 megawatts nag-bid, sabi ko nila, pinuto niya na, why nag-bid mo ng planta? Only 400 megawatts. Then I can conclude that in 2020, we will have a brownout. Lamira ko 2015 karon, muingon ko nga brownout sa 2020. Rather than Marso karon, April, mag-brownout na. Okay. I can't do anything anymore kung 1 month. Pero 2020, because it's long term, we will have a brownout in 2020 because out of the 600, only 400 bid it out. What will we do? The government will build the plant. But that will not happen. Because when there is a demand, the private sector will always come in. Sila magkuha na. But it's not very competitive. Now, why am I talking about all these things? What by renewable? Why am I talking about it is, this is now our problem. Our problem is, how do I insert renewable? if this is demand aggregation and bidding, renewable will always lose. Well, not always, most of the time it will lose because we're talking about prices. Let's talk about prices. The cost to generate electricity. Okay. On the top of my head, okay, before ng usos ang precious gasolina, maune, this was last year. Most expensive, like diesel or the diesel that we use right now, that is 14 pesos. If you use bunker fuel, it's 10 pesos. If you do solar, about 9 pesos. Wind, about 8 pesos. I'm just rounding this off. And then you use biomass, about 7 pesos, 6.50 to 7 pesos. And then run-off river hydro, about almost 6 pesos. And then natural gas, manampaya, about 5.50. And then you talk about coal, you have 5 pesos coal, pero may 3.70 na ngayon. Geothermal is about 5 pesos. Okay. And then you have nuclear. Father, okay ba kayo sa nuclear? Walang waste. It's clean. Kasi yan sinasabi ni Mark Juan ko eh. This is not pollutant. Okay. And it's cheap because right now, nuclear is about 2 pesos and 50 centavos. Okay. That is Bataan nuclear power plant. But a new plant would probably cost about 3 pesos per kilowatt hour because now they have many regulatory concerns. You have to have laws, you have to have this and that and that and that. Okay. Pero, when emission, okay, it's clean, it's cheap, it's the most ideal. Huwag ka naman Fukushima. Kung Fukushima ka, you condemn the entire area. Okay. It's the only problem. Are we responsible enough to be able to carry it out? Actually, that's a good question. Nila natin sila, pagkakano dali mo ang Bataan nuclear power plant? So I told them, let me ask you this, okay? Let me ask you, on the top of my head lang kayo. Kaya nandito ngayon, okay? If Meralco is 1150, Meralco is 1150, it's in Luzon kasi, di ba maka-cost din yun. So, Luzon sa itong tanawin. If Meralco is 1150, 11 pesos and 50 centavos per kilowatt hour, and then we run Bataan nuclear power plant, what price would you want our people to pay instead of 1150 to be worth it sa risk of nuclear? Tagan lang, huwag bayad. O huwag punishment. Huwag multa. Dos. Okay. Dos. Nakalihan. 5 pesos. 6. Okay. So I did my calculation because in the past, sige debate sa nuclear. Did you see that nuclear right now, ang debate maraming ubos? Paano ka nakabati? I did not shoot them down. I just told them reality. Because I'm in for transparency. And I told them that if you use Bataan nuclear power plant, your 1150 will become, in Meralco, 1120. It's no Mark, do your calculation. Okay, I just did mine. Because I never talk if I don't do calculation. 1120, why is it 1120? Because the cost of generation in Meralco is about 550. The cost of distribution and transmission and all others is about 6 pesos. So it's 1150. Okay. Now we're only talking about 550 in reduction in the 550. The 6 pesos is also guaranteed. Wala na bayan ng gano'n, hindi mo lang paubos ng 550. Meralco area is about 6,000 megawatts. Okay, ngayon kinahanglan. So if I put in a 600 megawatt Bataan nuclear power plant, it's only 9%. So I just do a weighted average, 90% 550, 10% 250, and then you end up with roughly around 520. And that's why your price is 1120. So, kung mauuna na, ayaw na lang. Pero kung, Secretary, kung isang 150, paubsan ito 150, ako, pwede. Bataan nuclear power plant? Yes. About 5 of them. One I will build in your subdivision. In other words, we now need, kung 150, we now need 5 of those in those areas. And all of a sudden, it becomes a nuclear policy. It's not about a nuclear power plant anymore. And if we go nuclear, I cannot decide on it. Why? Because it is something big that you yourself will have to decide on it. Kaya ang suggestion ko, Presidente, referendum. If we go for nuclear, I'll build it. I'll come up with policy to have it built. And mind you, people, investors will build it. Okay. The only question now is, do we go nuclear? Again, I'll raise it to a referendum. Okay. Meron may gusto, meron wala. Kaya ang karamihan ng gusto, mauli ng tinunod ha. Sa kadaghanan na gusto, ang 11.52 pesos. Pero pag napag 11.50, 11, bigyan mo po. Jeez, bigyan ko. Mas may yung gusto, isang 3 lang, imposible lang na. So ayaw na. Actually, if you tell them the truth, benefit and the risk, ang kadaghanan mo yung little worry. But that's for the people to decide. I cannot decide that myself. Now, let's go back again. I just showed you the prices of renewable energies. Mahal ang renewable energy. Now, if I get it out sa DASA, how will they win? So, how would we insert renewable? Because renewables will never win because of 2 things. Number 1, it's expensive. Number 2, it's intermittent. Pag intermittent, okay, di ka kaiba, kung may adlaw, may kuryente. Okay, kung may hangin, okay, kuryente. Okay. So, kung may hangin, nagyang sa ako, hindi ka nakuha. Kung may hangin, okay, kuryente. Ang wind farm, kailangan to as Kongreso with window. Now, karon, how do we insert this? So we've been tweaking around with the past, with aggregation, and we really cannot find ways of actually inserting renewable because you will never agree. So, but at the same time, if I let aggregation demand go its way, we will all be cold. Okay. In 2020, I would say 60% coal in the Philippines. Okay. We cannot also have coal, not coal lang, because of 2 things. Number 1 is that environment, environment and basically health and environment. Actually, health and environment, luha. Okay. So I asked Shell to come up with a simulation. What is the cost of environment and health? Okay. Because if we keep on saying it affects health, it affects health, yes, but at what cost? Okay. What is the cost? Well, it's by the billions. No. What I mean is, if coal is 370, what is the cost of environment and health in terms of per kilowatt hour? We came up with a rough solution. Take note, Shell is for renewable. In fact, Shell is for natural gas, for LNG, much less emission. And what they came up with was, per kilowatt hour, a little bit over 1 peso. So it becomes 470. Kung 470, bisag akong taasan, multahan ang coal o piso, mas marami ang gihapon isa ng coal. Kuman ang piso, ito sa environment o sa health. So people are now contesting. It's not just 1 peso, but what is it then? It's hard to compute. Shell came up with the closest computation. But still, kung health ang atong istoryahan, kung multahan mo ang coal, kung ang multa nila ito sa environmental health, kasi, I'm afraid that somebody come up with a law and say, let us compute the cost of health hazard caused by coal to environment and health. Convert that to peso. Because base po niya, manugot ang mga coal, piso, okay, barato mo lang gapon eh. And then now we have a legal basis to exist forever. Okay. That is another reason why you don't want coal. It's not only the environment, this is what people don't see. Dependence on coal. Okay. Indonesia said, we will not sell coal anymore starting this particular time. Okay, I think 2015. No no new contracts. Ang existing contracts, sige. Ang new contracts, murag ng delikado. So where will we get the phone? We might actually become expensive. So you get it from Australia. Shipping costs mas taas. Okay. What if they say in the future, we will use coal for whatever, and then we won't export anymore? Then all of a sudden they have a problem. It's just like oil. Okay. Kung mataas ang oil, problema ta. Kung maubos, traffic, pengatanan, sige padagan ng auto, bisag way katuan. Now, I'm going to show you, okay, what we're doing right now. But before I do that, I'll give you the outlook. Pananalan, okay, kanila. Okay, let's start with this one. Ako yung tupol yan. Ano? Ano yan? Oh. Do it again. Can you go back to the... This is actually your supply, blue. Actual existing supply. And then this gray one is the committed projects. When we say committed projects, these are projects na habit na human, gisugdan na, or na anay EPC contract, or na financial closing. In other words, di na sila atras. The only way for them to make money is to continue the project because they're actually committed already. That's how I define committed. Dili ni kay saan. Okay? Di ka makabawi kasi mong gastos kung di mo ni padayon. So they are committed. They don't have any choice. They decided already. So kung yung makitaan, okay, it's actually going up. But this is also our demand. This is our demand. And this is the regulating reserve, ang yellow. Ang regulating reserve, in Mindanao, you don't have regulating reserve. Okay? In Luzon, we have a regulating reserve. It's about 4%. Ang regulating reserve ng Lord, ang tao magamit ng kuryente, when this is the demand, this is all tentative. Why? Because I don't know if you will buy a 60-inch television. So I cannot predict. In fact, if you have a 60-inch television, I also cannot predict whether you will turn it on at this particular hour. Maybe you will also turn it off. I don't know if there is a mini conference right now, o tayo so din bakasyon na, pero nag-update ang aircon kaya pataron. But that's not also predicted. In other words, within a day, it fluctuates. And that's why you have a 4%. Plus, the stability of the frequency of the grid, okay, you also need. So, stabilizing only 4%. Sa inyo din ang stabilizing town sa Sipalco. Okay, what the reserve? Okay, sila na yung maghimo sa ilang individual mitigation factor. But, okay, soon we will have a regulated reserve in that. Now, you also have the contingency reserve. The contingency reserve is if the biggest plant in the area breaks down, you should have that reserve. The biggest plant in Luzon is 647 megawatts, Subal. So that's why that is 647. If the next biggest plant also breaks down, you should be able to exist. So na siya. So these are the reserves, ideal reserve. Are we hitting it? This is actual so far. Are we hitting it? Of course not. Okay. Yun na natin siya ngayon. Okay. Ibang atong situation sa ideal. But as you can see, it's actually increasing. In fact, we will have a better outlook than what it is right now. Karon, ang kanipod sila din these are all the committed projects. I will not go through them one by one, but I can give a copy of where they are now, especially for Mindanao. I'll skip this. Okay. And then I'll go to the Visayas. Ang Visayas, situation nila. It's not as good as Luzon because at some point we actually have got. Tingnan ang brown out na, ang yellow din ang mga brown out na using 2018. Because of this, there are plants that are not committed but they are indicative. Ang indicative, mas laghan kung mas committed. Kaya ang indicative, mo ng mga politiko kung saan. Saan pa lang. Para matininood, okay, they will have to make sure that there is a demand. So I showed them to this every now and then, that you don't have enough, so that they'll build their plan. Who are they to point them to the right direction? Who is under contracted? Okay, karon, kasi these are all private sector, ha? Okay, karon, am I going to be worried on 2020? No. You can still build a plan today to meet the 2020. In other words, the supply and demand race with each other. If the demand goes up, kung naki-demand, somebody will build a plant. Pero kung sobra na ang supply, nobody will build a plant. It's as simple as that because it's market driven. All we're trying to do here is make sure na mag-abot sila. Kaya usahay po, pwede po ang planta, di mo ito po usahay o mahal. Okay, that's what we're trying to avoid. Let's go to Mindanao. That's Mindanao. I always tell everybody, I'm not worried about Mindanao. That's not Saad. These are committed. Take note, ang Saad, wala ko ibutang din ni Sulman Versus. Pagkalamig sa presentation ni Secretary o puro Saad. These are actually committed projects. These are being built. And you will have an oversupply. Starting 2015. Start of 2016 if there's any delay. Plants are usually delayed. Okay? I'm not talking about prices here. I'm just talking about supply. Prices is a different thing. Okay? Now, if you have an oversupply, girang special. Okay? That's what's nice about having oversupply. I don't know why they're building. If you ask me if I'm a businessman, I wouldn't build one. See, Abuitis is building 150 megawatts. Na siya off-take, na na-imply sa iya. Okay, so yan ang guild. 300 megawatts actually. But there are some, nang pagpatukol o, the process is something like this. Okay, you sign up with me, and then I now have 300 megawatts na sign up. I'll go to the bank will tell me, okay, kontrata, I'll lend you the money, and then you build the plant. The cost of a plant right now, whole plant or average plant is about $2 million per megawatt. If it's 300 megawatts, that's about $600 million. Bisag si Abuitis, what na kwarta sa bulsa, utang mo yun na. Before makautang ka, natin off-take. So these plants, actually most of them have off-takes. With a few exceptions, like San Miguel. San Miguel is building 150 megawatts. Pag tanong ako, why kontrata? Kasama-asama na yung baligya. Ang bote ko kayo. Pero di ko nakukunan. Kung dato ka, nakukunan man ka. Go ahead. But anyway, I'll stop there on the outlook and then you can switch. Okay. I'm just giving an outlook of where we are. Okay. Now, it is not real. Why? Because there is always brownout. That's why the demand is curtailed. What is the demand of a grid? You can never know the demand of the grid until there is an oversupply. Kaya sige, magkalpugong. Diba? Pero kung daghan na yung kurente, wala brownout, alis na tayo ng aircon, o palit na tayo electric pan, industrial pan, manupat na tanan. Because you now have electricity, you tend to use electricity to the maximum. And that's why people are saying that the demand in Mindanao will be higher. Okay. Now, we are proposing again, how do we combat this? Because there are coal already at this point. The only way we can combat them is basically to impose renewable energy. Impose? Yes. How? Through feed-in tariff. Is it legal? Of course. Okay. Under the Renewable Energy Act, okay, we're supposed to come up with a policy on how to keep up with the mix that we have. The mix that we want is about 30%. Are we hitting 30% for renewable? Barely, I would say. Right now, are we 30%? More or less. Are we going to be 30% in the future? No. Unless we do something about it. Okay. The Philippines is still the cleanest among all the ASEAN countries. We're actually the cleanest. If you look at other countries, it's 80% coal. Okay? Pero meron naman ibang countries na also, they're endowed with a lot of hydro. So, they're also cheap. Okay? There's also, we also have hydro here. Actually, hydro unit is enough for you until you start growing. Sige ka panganak. Kalagyan ng tao. So we can't really help it. You have an increased demand. One of the highest growth rate in population in Asia or in the world is actually the Philippines, close to 1%. That's huge. And I think a lot of them in Mindanao. Yun sa loob pang bisuga, siguro na ako sugaan ka mo na, taas pa ng population. Anyway, let's show this slide. We cut out na lang ako yung mga slides, okay? This is where we are right now, 2013. Okay? More or less ang total is 42%. If you add up the renewable here is basically hydro, geothermal, others, okay? This is 2013, okay? The picture for 2014 and 2015 is different because 200 plus megawatts of wind just came in, okay? And solar came in with 50 megawatts. And there's more to come, 450. Bago pa lang paningin yung online situation. And when I saw this, I said, we cannot maintain this balance because coal is increasing rapidly. And basically, the rest are not moving as quickly as they should be moving. Okay. Kung imong tanahon, kalingatanan is actually less than 30%. It's only about 26%. Okay. We're trying to get a balance of 30%. In the last outlook that we did, we're hitting 30% already. Okay. For 2014 and 2015. But we need to be vigilant because there are 23 coal plants being built right now. 23 coal plants. Yun sila. These are all committed projects, 23. Should I stop them? Ngayon sila. You know, the Department of Energy is giving all these permits. Sabi ko, we're not the only one giving permits. Before we can build the plant, siguro 5 signature lang kami. Kinsa pa man ang lain, dagang pa, LGU, NCIP, daghan na kayo sila tanan. Pero, pag-abot sa environment, that shouldn't be our concern. It's a concern of DNR. And by the way, they also pass through DNR. But all these coal plants are going through DNR with a certain standard. And it complies with the standards of DNR. And that's why nakakalusot sila. Even if I wanted to stop them, I cannot. Because they're actually complying with all the requirements. If there are any changes that should be done, it should be DNR. That's why in the SONA, State of the Nation Address for Environment in Merino, where all the environmentalists were there, there were 2 secretaries invited. Kasama DNR, ako lang sumikot. I was trying to defend DNR on their policy successfully, making sure that people understand where we are. Because it's tough. In other countries, ang sinasabi nila, you know, all plants should have the same emission as gas. That will be impossible. Or slightly lower than gas. Slightly more volcanic. But in the end, it is the standards that dictates whether the whole plant can exist here or not. It's not you. It's not you. But anyway, how do we do this? We go on feed-in tariff. Okay. Feed-in tariff is basically, these are all the rates right now, the feed-in tariff. Anong ibig sabihin ng feed-in tariff? Ang feed-in tariff is that we tell the private sector, build 200 megawatts at least 250, at least 500, 250, and 10, and then we will give you the feed-in tariff. What is a feed-in tariff? We will guarantee this rate every time you actually produce something, electricity. Every time you produce electricity, we'll pay you this. Where will I get this? From the government? No. From the people. This is a pass on to the people. Ang tawag hapon ng payment. Okay. That's why, right now, ang approval for the 750, ibali lang niya siya of 10, kung ibali niya of 450, the total is about 750. The approval given by ERC is 4.7 centavos for every kilowatt hour na inyong ikonsumo, kolektahan mo o kadugangan na 4.7 centavos. For an average household of 200 megawatts, that's roughly around 9 pesos. Kolektahan mo, dugang 9 pesos. Para ibayad, meaning ang tindog o renewable energy. Why don't they just compete when you look at the rates? These are the rates na allegedly they're making money or it's profitable for them. By the way, this is for 20 years. 4.7 centavos for 20 years. Is this something new? No. This is something being done in other countries as well. The feed-in tariff in Germany is roughly around, if I can recall correctly, it's about 3 pesos and 75. Sa ato, 4.7 centavos. Sa ila, 3 pesos and 75. One-fourth of the bill is actually on feed-in tariff. Ako naman, ayaw ko mapabuti ng ganyan, salo sa buhay ng tao. But we should have a certain mix. Anyway, ang coal in barato na 370, okay, per kilowatt hour, if we increase rates by 4.7 centavos to balance the effect of coal, is not a bad thing. However, it will not stop at 4.7 because it will still increase. Because as coal increases, you also increase this. But as coal increases, the prices go down. We also pull it up a bit, okay, by balancing it out. So we're keeping a balance on the feed-in tariff here. Okay. Now, how did I do the feed-in tariff? Okay. Maraming problema ko sa ayos sa gobyerno. As if I'm not from the government. Okay. I really come from the private sector. That's why I think like a private sector. Okay. This is what I saw in the Department of Energy. Renewable energy. It takes, paglingkod na ako ng Director Marasigan. Yes, sir. How long, if somebody will, sino nag-apply dito ng renewable energy contract, service contract? Come on, service contract. Okay. Before I get in, it takes at least 2 years to get their service contract. Sa bangkay problema. Okay. And I asked Mario Marasigan, why is it taking you 2 years to release a service contract? And they said, sir, because we have to analyze everything and we don't have enough people. So if I give you enough people, you'll be able to do it. Yes. How many can you output in a month? Sir, only 15. Actually, that's the rate of DOE before I came in. 15 service contracts a month. How many applicants do you have? Almost 300. 2 years yan. Okay? And there are more coming. The reason why I was actually very, very conscious about service contracts is there are service contracts na buhatan na sa mga tao makuha ko service contract, but they have no intention of building. When I get a service contract, this area is reserved for me. Nobody can touch this for the next 25 years. Because that's really is in the service contract. So if you want to build further, believe me, you cannot. This is now reserved for me. Eh, talaga nakita mo ang laki ng potential nito, what do? You buy me. Can you imagine, I need money without building anything. I just secured all their service contracts. Actually, when I came in, there were many service contracts not moving. They're all up for sale. We call them flippers. They just split contracts. And in this country, what makes it expensive are flippers. So I promised myself I will get rid of the flippers. So the first thing I did was the process of giving service contracts. Sabi ko, bakit matagal? Sabi nila, sir, kasi there are 3 aspects and we have to look at them very carefully. What's the first aspect? Financial. Yung financial submission, yes. We have to make sure that the finances are actually viable. So, ngayon po, Director, kung hindi viable ang financial, pinamay ko alkansin. Huwag man nun, sabi ko, Secretary. Ako, pinamay malkansin ako, huwag hapon. Ang Presidente, huwag hapon. Ang Pilipinas, huwag hapon. Hindi man dahil na malkansin, hindi kung sayot-sayot na yung financial. So, kung bisag sayot na, bisag squeaky, approve it. Maniyon sila. They were trying to, utang mo ako, sigurado ka, marag ilang ingon ka na siya. For example, Secretary, customer service contract. to maintain a 5 megawatt hydropower plant, ang ilang nakabutang sa ilang financial, 40,000 a year. Ako, dollars o peso? Sir, peso, mananatawa sa ilang plant. Ako, walang kasama, ako lusot na yun. Kaya ako, palusot mo muna. Ako, tingnan na lang rin, Director. I don't know how to maintain a 5 megawatt hydropower, 40,000 a year pesos. But I can only assume that it is actually run by a religious cult where everybody contributes money to run the hydro. And if it's not enough, they pray to God, and every first Sunday of the month, it rains money. Ano yan sila? Miraculo lang na, secretary lang po. Exactly. If they can perform miracles, my God, they should be rewarded, not punished. So, approve it. Next, ano sila? Turbina. Ano naman sa may turbina? Secretary, sa among run audit, may kalaghanan. Basta Chinese made, every 3 years, na-debate ko. Ay ba, tuloy pa, malkansi pa. Well, there are different people in this world. Some people are happy, and it is their hobby, replacing turbines every 3 years. If that is their happiness, let us not stop them. Let us make them happy, let them replace their turbines. Kung may malkansi na to, legal, no compromise. You will really have to put legal aspect here. So, right now, my standing order is all service contracts ko. Why problema? 45 days approval. And I am the weakest link. Why? Karon, I can only guess na ay nagsunod sa akong apirmahan because I have to sign for all of them. I wish I could assign this to somebody else, but no. Under the sa legal, I really have to sign for it. So I'm the weakest link because ako ang nagkapas para me. But we're saying 45 days as long as you don't have a problem. Now, kaya ito, ang 2 years pa, paglingkod pa lang ako, dahil kay Congressman Mayor, marik ako. Secretary, na, mag-investor, di ako investor. Kung pwede umta kay, seryoso ni sila, ubutan ang service contract, pirmahin na, karoon magsugod na ni sila. So, karoon na 45 days na, ako bisita sa ako, kaya manggawas na lang. Akong ginawa ng mga congressman ko, I really thought you just wanted to talk to me and visit me. And in the end, you just wanted the service contract. Because now they don't have a plan. Which is what we want to happen. We don't want any more follow-up. Now, in the feed-in tariff, what did I do? And a lot of banks hate me for this. They really hate me. What did I do? The feed-in tariff is a quota. Tangtangin 10, tangtangin 450. That's it. So when I came in, I said, we will now issue feed-in tariff endorsement. Kinsa may akong tagaan. Ang question, who do I give it to? If I base it on an evaluation, if I base it on my gut feeling, tala na ako kung mga parente, maruol na ako ng better 5 megawatts sabi. Okay, ako 10 megawatts. Because what they will do is, if I give them, I issue them, that 10 megawatts is yours, you'll go to Ramang and build a solar plant or wind. It's also possible, Father, that if I give you the 10 megawatts, you will not build it. Because now you have the quota, you will just sell it at probably 1 million pesos per megawatt. So now you have 3% in. I really wanted the flippers to go away. So what did I do? Wala na ako i-evaluate ang aplikante. I just told them, you build it first. Kung matukod na, I'll give you the quota. What happened? All the flippers disappeared. So you have to build it first then. But also the banks were mad because they cannot finance something. Kuno kay kamutanan, it's a race. Palumba mo sana. Hindi mo finance mo. Kasi mag-build ka. Hindi ka kakuha sa feed-in tariff. And that's why ang bankers were actually not there. Okay. However, I will do it this way for the first 2 quotas. Why? Because I want something built. In this country, it's all talk, no action, puro lang plano. Let's make it a race and see who the serious ones are. And mind you, the serious ones came. 250, 200 megawatts for wind. You know how many built in San Tukod? Pila? Ang nagtukod, 400. Lumbak sila. Pero I will only give you 200. What happens to the rest? You sell to Western. What is the rate of the Western? It's not 853, it's lower. That's why it's a race. They really want to go and finish everything. The biggest, in the ASEAN country, the biggest wind farm, and probably the fastest in Asia, was actually built in this country, for your information. This is in Burgos, 150 megawatts, built in 16 months. 16 months. Pero kumuha nila ako erase, mga 3 years ago. Okay, this is 16 months. And then ang iba ng sunod, na 18 months, na 20 months, they all very fast. Okay, solar, kaya mga solar na, may solar din. Hindi sila magsaba-saba, bilog-bilog lang sila. Parang ako kumana nila eh. Because they don't want to tell the competition that they're actually building. They want the competition to actually relax. Kaya unhan nila. Actually, in Ilocos, I visited Burgos, I visited Northwind, I visited NLREC, kanang tulong ng bahay. You know, they all finish on November, all of them. Days lang differential. Naman, pukay din sila. NLREC, for example, the Ayala Wind, it's about 84 megawatts. Ang akong ingon, I will consider you as eligible if you reach the grade. In other words, kung ako sa linya sa NGCP, humanisod na mo. Kung human ka na, pag hindi ka makalabo o kurente nga sa grade, will kapit. At kamo ka nagkuha. 65 kilometers of transmission line, they built it themselves. Race manggol. Why gamit ko matukod na ito kung man ang NGCP o kailan niya, sila yung linya. And that's what people are doing right now. They're putting up the lines because it's a race. Only the serious players are allowed in this game. Okay, next. This is as of 2014. Okay, monitoring board lang minamo. What you should look at is this one. Okay, actually these are the ones racing. These are the ones who have reached the finish line. In other words, sa wind, off na. Okay, anybody comes in, huli ka na. Sa solar, it's only 22 megawatts as of December 2014. Pero karong Marso, yung start ng kainisod, 50 man lang ang atong quota din eh. Ang nisod is about 70. Now we have to decide kung kinsa na because it's a race. We've already decided kung kinsa na. And then biomass, it's only 17. If you can see, the wind and solar is oversubscribed. Hydro is oversubscribed. Biomass is not subscribed. It's undersubscribed. Okay. In the next round, I will increase the quota. By how much? We will now have to see when the coal plants are going to finish. Kaya maunin akong Pampanga. Okay. Pila ang akong increase, depende kung pila na. Can you imagine, for every 100 megawatts na matukod na coal, I have to build roughly around 80 megawatts of renewable. So you can see the future of renewables, if I'm allowed to actually deal with it, it's actually allowed. Okay. Next, ang third round din na ito, ipabiling na rin. Just for your info for those. Biling na race. Bidding na. In other words, solar is 850. I want it lower. O, bid mo. Kung kinsa pinaka-ubos, mo itagaan natin. The banks will not be happy. Kaya na may guarantee. Kung saan magsubuhay, itagaan natin. Karimang goal, hindi takatagaan basta ito ang mga. These are the plans. And the plans are all here. These are all plans. But basically, the plans are basically plans. The bottom line here is we still have to deal with commercials. Commercials ang gapon ka. If the commercials show that it's going to be extremely expensive, okay, it's not going to fly. That's why every year ang presyo atong pausan. Really patasan. Anyway, at this point, I'll end the. There are many, the PowerPoint presentation is this thick. In-extract ko lang yung importante. And perhaps we can focus on others as you raise questions, questions. So, I'll end it here. Dapat yung sa atin. Kani, yun ang ako yung sa-usapan ko sa akin sa pulang taon ini. Simple lang ni. Okay. Pag magtukod ka coal, na yung reklamo environmentalist. Okay. So, tukod na lang pag hydro, na dapat yung reklamo. Ang NCIP, naman, ang indigenous people, maibo. Sa Iloilo, kanina ito, nag-propose sa hydro, duha ka tao ang indigenous. Ang hapit na sugdan, himo ng 200. Kung nagkatanan, kinahanap ng piliran. So you have a problem with indigenous because there is flooding. What about biomass? It competes with food. Okay? It competes with food, ang biomass. And actually, to some extent, it is incineration. To some degree. Pero, carbon neutral because you plant and then you burn. Okay? Sige na argument. But it really competes with food. In fact, there was a talk before about energy. Energy versus water. Okay? That as we go along, as you produce more energy, wala sa tubig. Naapoy, energy versus food. So, that's a problem with biomass. Solar. Kung saan may problema solar? Problema solar? Agricultural land. You need agricultural land because you need hectares and hundreds of hectares of land. Wind, shallow. Apa yung reklamos wind? Bird migration because of the noise. I mean, I'm telling you, in this country, tanan na ay reklamo. Kaya kung lang nakinig akong nasod, duhara sa buk ako nakita. Duhara ko ang nangin. Okay? Dili ko ang nagpanunura rin. Duhala ng papanunura rin. Reklamo, ano mo sa everything. Utang. Wala na. Tulungan na lang doon. So, we're faced with this and it is our job to actually go to areas kung hindi sila maprobahan. I'll give an example. Na problema sa kumpanya kan mayor kay dili mahatag og permit. Ang barangay chairman di ka mahatag og clearance. Ang barangay chairman o ang mayor they don't get along very well. There are political ko. Usahay question sa usang senador. Okay, sabta na naman ang mga dehas. Energy. In fact, I have a user who is a former mayor. What does he do? Troubleshooter. Okay. Dili tagaan ni mayor, dili tagaan ni kapitan, ako ipada. Kung sa may sura, naka-t-shirt, may iPad, kung sa may da, doha ka punta doon ko naman. And in 1 week's time, we're able to get the permit. But you have to bear in mind that energy is not just energy nowadays. Okay? And that's why we handle almost all kinds of problems, DNR, NCIP, tanan-tanan na. I feel that we should rename ourselves to Department of Everything. Because that's what we're doing basically. Basta ang CC sa amin din. Okay. But anyway, the challenges that we have is, I think you know about this already, to put up a hydro in Mindanao, it takes 163 signatures. And 163 signatures, okay. Citizens Charter, 15 days you have to respond. Some are overlapping. Pero supposing, ang mag-compute, supposing everybody responds on the 15th day, it will still take you almost 2 years. Kung maroon mga peso, tanan, di-comply na. And that's something that we have to actually, right now, in DOE, ang Mindanao sa nagbuhat one-stop shop. Pero the DOE actually, di man tapoy naman one-stop shop. Nga naman, sa for renewables nga naman. How many applicants do you have? Can you imagine getting all these government agencies in one room? Pero ang mga aplikante, sa usa ka semana, sorte ka na kung na ay tulog. Dili may para sa mayor's permit na nagkagaya mag-apply. So instead, naghimo yung mga tao, mga ilang buhaton, we assign them to people, and then kung hain sila ng kalisod, kaniyang mga tao, mga tanong pa ni fresh graduate ba, they go out there and negotiate with the government agency, with the government ID. We still don't have a name for them. Right now we call them fixers. Official fixers. These are the challenges that we have right now. Okay. But eventually we'll get to them. That's why it takes some time to build a project in this country, because we are extremely democratic. and there are many, many permits. We want to make sure that it's not corrupted. We want to make sure environment is protected. We want to make sure that indigenous people are protected, that the mayor is respected, that we want to respect everybody, and in the end, we create a bureaucracy which makes everything wrong. Our job now is to make people understand that in the end, we need power, whether renewable or otherwise, and quickly. Because the planning that we just told you, 4 to 5 years to build a plan, assuming you have the permits. If you don't, it will take longer. And if Supreme Court says, it's been raised to our level, I hereby decide that you cannot build for now. I will think about it. I will get back to you in 3 years' time. Okay, and that's a problem that we have. When it goes to the courts, then it really, forgive me my French, it screws up everything because you have a plan. Ang ganawa ang usa, 600 megawatts per yun, buka ka na. Kuman ang usa magtukod. Wa naman to siya, kaya natin uman. Padayon na ka sa imo. Di po padayon naman. I don't have a contract. Why not release the contract there? He will not release the contract. Ano man? Base ang PRO malito man. So anything that you put in the courts actually put everything in a maze that you can't move anymore. Ang ako nga permit, do not allow things to go into the Supreme Court as much as possible. Negotiate. Walang mabalo. Usap mo kiha, istorya sa ka. Otherwise, buwak ka na. Anyway, this is my last slide. Among about several hundreds of slides, I did not show it anymore. Okay. Kaya basta abdan na din yung pagmundo, para ni handang pala. I just want to make sure. So, if you have any questions at this point, the moderator can handle the question and answer. Thank you very much.